Hello friends, today I am back with the part 2 of SSB 5 day tour. Having filtered out of say 200 to 300 to 30 to 40 students at and spent a day at SSB Center, now you are well settled and very excited to go through the next 4 days of process, which is very critical and important for your recommendation. The day 2 starts with the psychological test. The psychological tests are mainly written tests conducted from 9 to 1 o'clock in a conference hall, and you are given a sheet on which most of the things are already written. You got to fill them up sequentially. Psychologists will brief you, and the first test will be called the thematic apperception test, or TAT in short. Now it has 11 stories shown onto the slide as it was done in the PPDT. 30 seconds, slight differences between the PPDT and the TAT, which we will explain you later. But the concept remains same of your soch, your samajdari, meaningful outcome of the story, positive outlook, which you bring out on a piece of paper in next 3.5 minutes, totaling to each slide and writing to 4 minutes. And 11 plus 1 blank story in which you can write your thoughts whichever the way you want to put up in 8 to 10 lines, say 90 words. And then it totals to about 48 minutes to 50 minutes. The exercise 1 gets over, 5 minutes of break, and you are into the next test called word association test, VAT. 60 words, 15 seconds on each word shown on the slide with a buzzer, and you have to see, understand, and make a meaningful sentence out of that word. Again, the time constraints is very high, and 15 minutes total is given for this exercise. Some psychological train comes out of these two, and then you are getting into the third exercise, which is little different from these two and little more dynamic, more exciting, is situation reaction test, or SRT. Now SRT is your day-to-day activities, house, outside, school, college, railway, platform, airport, colleagues, working place, football ground, adventure, sports, extracurricular activities, social life, community living, anything, any situation which arises in and around you, you got to listen, read it in a booklet. 60 situations are given, 30 seconds allotted for each, and you have to answer on a piece of paper which is the same sheet on which you have attempted the TAT and VAT. So again, it is just 30 minutes of whole exercise, and it brings out your way you look and react on a dynamic changing situation. Last one is self-description test. It's more of your own assessment of yourself and the surrounding and environment, how they look at you. 5 questions written on the worksheet, 3 minutes each given for each. 5 to 6 lines you have to write. Number 1, what does your parents think of you? Number 2, what does your teacher or colleagues think of you? If you're working, obviously your employers. They're not colleagues, employers. The third one is your friends. What does your friends think of you or colleagues think of you? And the fourth one, what do you think about yourself? The last one, what kind of person you want to become? These 5 things bring out your own self-analysis and surrounding, capturing your way of life. With that, the psychological test is over. The day 2 is over, and your afternoons are spent for rest, recreation, reading, making good friends, chit-chat, and preparing for the next day, which is very challenging, and that is called Group Testing Officers Day, Day 3. Day 3, normally in PT tracks, and you are expected to perform an outdoor task, including some classroom tasks. 9 tasks are there in GTO. Number 1, group discussions. Has 2 parts. Firstly, the general knowledge part, in which 2 topics will be given. Your chest number, 10, 12, 15 of you sitting in a semicircular or circular formation, and then you are GTO is not part of the discussion. He's just away from it. He will announce the two topics. You have to choose one topic quickly and then discuss within the 10 of you in 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Sometimes it is curtailed, depends upon the requirement and the involvement and how these things are progressing. The second topic is a general social topic which is announced by the GTO, and there is no option. You have to carry out group discussion on that and complete it. Having done that, we come to the group planning exercise. It's a military planning exercise in which there is a sand model or a 2D model on a piece of paper or on the wall. Certain problems, certain situations, certain movements, village, track, river, you are moving from here to there, certain things happens, 4 or 5 problems are created, you are given some manpower resources, some material resources, some time constraints, and you are expected to understand them, write the plan on a piece of paper, and then without narration you have to carry out a group discussion and come to a common solution, nominate a leader who is going to produce the lesson plan, that the solution to the GTO on behalf of this group. So it's a very tough and very scientific way to do the things in a proper manner, and this is considered one of the complex exercise which one has to be thorough while attempting the SSB. The third one comes the progressive group task. Structures from start line to stop lines are given. You are 10 of you and certain material, balli, danda, balli, and then patta, and then ropes, maybe some load, ammunition box, then water can, then maybe drum, fuel. All these have to be carried. Tent, or maybe a injured soldier. All this is to be carried from start to stop line with certain limitations, certain codes, certain rules, group rule, color rule, rigidity rule. We are going to explain them. Certain scientific principles are used in this. Group behavior and dynamics and the leadership traits and the mental agility, flexibility, coolness, all this is a part of this test. And progressive because there are 4 of them, 45 minutes to 50 minutes given to complete all these 4, and then the GTO is going to meet you at the end of the 4th task. So this is going to be explained better in a little more graphical manner and little more outdoor activities based solution. We will have a look at it. And the 4th task is a group obstacle race, also called snake race. The snake race is very interesting. It is exciting one. The teams are divided into 4 parts, 10 each. There is no leader in all these exercises, and you race against each team. Teams are given certain names. You have to pass certain obstacles. 6 obstacles are there, and you have to carry a snake, that is a tent rolled into a snake kind of thing, which you have to carry on soldier and on the shoulder, and you cannot let it touch the ground. Or there are certain rules again, and then you may be penalized. You may be stopped during certain faults that you create. And then it's racing against time also. More than time, the other team that is around you. So all kind of hue and cry and is permitted, and then you reach the last finish point where the team is rewarded depending upon the performance. So these are the 4 tests, and then comes the half group task. The half group task is basically same as progressive group task, but the team is divided into half, and your performance is checked acutely by the GTO with only one start to finish line of structures to be crossed. Rest all rules, regulations, everything remains same. Then comes the individual, the lecturate first. So lecturate, you have to 10 of you have to sit in a classroom formation, and you will draw a chit from a bowl, and then you will go away from the crowd and read the chit in which 4 topics will be given. You have to pick up one topic, practice it in next 3 minutes, and come back and speak next to the class members, 9 of them. And again, there are no clues available. It's a time constraint, and good communication skills obviously makes the day for you in this. And GTO watches you carefully for your leadership and communication skills and power of expression, structured communication, etc., which we are going to get into detail and train you for the structured and logical communication. Having done this, becomes the individual obstacle in which there are 10 obstacles marked 1, 2, 3, 4, which each of them carrying the same marks as they are marked, totaling to 55. 3 minutes time is given for you to complete these the obstacles. It's more of a planning and organizing ability than the physical. One has to be agile and sportsmanship spirit with a lot of courage, determination, endurance, etc., which can be developed by practice. And it's not a very tough obstacle. Is not the way you cross the obstacle is more important than crossing the number of obstacles. So we are going to give you the tricks on that, planning on this, and if you can complete all them, you can repeat, but if you can't, then you get the marks accordingly. Probably this is the one which fetches you marks on the spot. And then comes the individual group task, which is rarely named. Actually, it is more famously known as command task, in which there is a commander and there are 2 subordinates. They are under your orders, and you are checked for this ability. It's also like progressive group task with one half group task with just one structure, that is one start to stop line with some structures and some helping material given to you. You plan and you execute it, and you take charge of your subordinates. So this is very, very different and away from the other exercises where leadership traits are much more evident. And then comes the final group task, in which the entire group is again brought back to the 10 of them or 15 of them, whichever way you have started, and the whole thing, as it is a half group task but done by all the people. Single start line to finish line, 10 minutes of it. Half group task also is 10 minutes. Individual group task is also 10 to 15 minutes. And degree of difficulty is obviously slowly increased from one to another. So there is some factor, I call it a thermodynamics of GTO, which I am going to cover in detail, how in which exercise one must behave, flow and show his or her ability, so that the GTO takes the natural progression of a leader onto the spot, emerging leadership qualities, etc. So many things which comes into play. Is actually given by you to GTO, and then he finds you stable for it. So friends, with that we finish the day 4, day 3, and in between you may be called for interview, because interview is done by the presiding officer, senior most officer, or the second in command of the board, and it can happen on 2nd day, 3rd day or 4th day. Interview is a straightforward process. The last exercise, 35 to 45 minutes, can go to 1 hour. Formal dress regulations, formal communication eye to eye between 2 people, and it is going to check you in the last domain. So obviously the IO is going to be penetrating into your psychology, your awareness, your understanding, your opinions, your variety of society related aspects, family related aspects, national and international aspects, and how do you look at the organization, yourself, your general awareness, etc. A hell of a lot of things. But it could be sometimes very easy. Questions could be very easy. You got to perform in them and satisfy IO for your leadership and your potentials to become a commissioned officer into armed forces. तो ये जरूरी है कि आप IO को सेटिस्फाई करें, और जो भी रह गई है बात 3 दिनों में पीछे, उसको भी पूरा कर दें, ताकि जो कसर बाकी है वो पूरी हो जाए और आपको IO सेलेक्ट कर पाएँ. और लास्ट डे 5th डे कॉन्फ्रेंस होगा, जिसमें all 3 officers are sitting in uniform. They sign your board results. You are called one by one. They take another look at you, discuss among them any plus, minus, pros and cons, and your marks. And in case there are doubts, they clarify by some questions, very general questions to you. And then it's very short, 2 to 3 minutes. Thereafter, the merit list is prepared, the recommendation list is prepared, and whether you have passed or failed is announced in a conference room. Others who have not been recommended are given motivational talk to come back with greater efforts, and those who are selected are kept back for the medicals. And after the medicals, which is 4 to 5 days, generally in the same town, or it could be the next military hospital close to your town, dates are given for that. And then you wait for the merit list depending upon your written or direct, if it is a direct interview, depending upon your marks of the SSB, आपको अपनी रिकमेंडेशन का इंतज़ार करना होता है, मेरिट लिस्ट का इंतज़ार करना होता है, और जब आपकी मेरिट लिस्ट बन जाती है फिर आपका सिलेक्शन होता है और आप NDA, INA या फिर नेवल एकेडमी, एयरफोर्स एकेडमी, मिलिट्री एकेडमी, ऑफिसर्स ट्रेनिंग एकेडमी चेन्नई, इनमें से कहीं भी आप जाते हैं और जो ड्यूरेशन ट्रेनिंग की है उसको करते हुए फिर कमीशन ऑफिसर की बहाली में आप भारतीय नौसेना, वायुसेना और सेना को अपना योगदान देते हैं. तो विशिंग यू ऑल द बेस्ट. लेट्स मीट in the next video for some new topics, wherein I'm going to tell you about certain little more tricks and smart aspects of preparation strategy to prepare from now, so that before you attempt the SSB you are fully ready and geared up to have those harnessing those skills which are essential to become an officer in the armed forces. Thank you for now. Jai Hind and good day.